Hello. For my final environments project, I chose to do the CEP lobby interior. So the mission of this space was to redesign a lobby space and inspiration wall for the Chicago headquarters of CEP. So my vision was to highlight CEP's culture, personality, and essence of what makes CEP what it is today. This space will bring the brand to life with its energetic movement and bold contrast, leaving a memorable impression to everyone entering. So my theme for this space was We Go Where You Go, and my design style was modern minimalistic. So in my design strategy, I just wanted something fresh and new, so simple in form and function. As you can see, just simple shapes, squares, cubes, nothing like too complex. And then the spaces are very predictable and uncomplicated. As you can see here, there are the three main nodes: the desk, the wall bench, and then the little seating area on the other side. And an open floor plan, which is also a characteristic of modern minimalistic. It is clean, open, and light. There's abundant light with the windows and then the lights in the space. And then it is very clean. Um, there is also a neutral color palette with splashes of color. So my splash of color was the CEP red, and then I just stuck with the other neutral colors, which is also a characteristic of modern minimalistic. And then just very like clean, sharp space. And there's also is a lot of movement just because of like the harsher edges and like We Go Where You Go, the theme kind of goes with that movement feeling. So just something new and fresh is what they wanted. So for spatial definition, right when you walk through the doors, you have that little seating area, and that area is kind of defined by the two chairs facing in towards the table, giving it like a sense of closure in that space. And then also the main desk with the welcome that kind of defines that space, just having it in that corner. And then the wall is also just defined by the big area. So for enclosure, my space is fully encapsulated by walls, windows, and doors, so it is fully enclosed. The size of this space is the regular size that CEP already had. I didn't change any of the dimensions of their lobby, so it's their existing size. And then it's just almost a rectangular space, but there are a few parts where it goes outward. And then spatial relationships, so just the rooms are differentiated by the spatial definition that I talked about before. There aren't any like different rooms in this space, so that part is kind of hard to differentiate. This is one main space. For spatial texture, I have woods. My trim, I just have the simple white wood, which goes with my minimalistic design style. And then I have clean surfaces and the kind of glossy paint finish on the walls as well. So going with cleaner textures, not as complex. So for the way that you would move through this space, so you start with the approach. So you first walk in the door, um, the arrival, opening my two doors, the two glass doors, and then you step in, and then straight forward, you see the CEP desk. So you go to the desk, and then the waiting area, the waiting step of the phase, you go to the seats on the left with the table, and that's just the space. And then moving towards destination is when you kind of move past the wall, so you go from the seats coming towards us on the screen. And then arriving at the destination would be not in this area, and then the target activity would be not in this area. It's going to be wherever the desk that the client is going to or the worker is going to. Um, Side trips. There's not really side trips in this space as well because the side trips would probably be further into the office, like bathrooms, restrooms. Secondary activities in this space. I mean, sitting in the waiting area, sitting on the bench by the wall. Um, the wall also is interactive, so the date changes on the left and then the time on the right, obviously, but those are just LED screens. It's a very minimalistic style, so just having that new, fresh energy. And then moving towards the exit, so you walk back through the doors that you came through, and then departure, finally exiting. So the last impression of the space, which should be pretty similar to the first impression that people have in the space. So the occasion for this space would be to work and collaborate. This may include meetings, coming to CEP and talking with the clients, or just the workers coming here to do their everyday work. So the players of the space, the people involved, would be the CEP workers, the CEP clients, maybe family members coming to visit. Some resources in this space would be the tables, seating, desks, just places that you would sit and work or sit and visit. So then the surrounding of this area is just the Chicago exterior. I don't know exactly where this space is located, but it is in Chicago. So for personas, or arousal, pleasure, and dominance. So for the enrichment that I want to produce is low arousal, mild pleasure, and some dominance. This will make this space enjoyable but also comfortable for both personas, the workers, and the clients. So yeah, and then the function of this space would be just to do the work, CEP's work, everyday work. Some landmarks of this space could be the waiting area, it could be the wall, it could be the front desk, it could be right outside of the doors. And then, so the initial impression I want people to feel is just that energetic new company, the movement, the fresh air, open, clean, crisp. The path that they will take right through the doors, go straight across to the desk, then it would be to the waiting area, and then it would be right past the wall. So kind of just a simple path. And then the main nodes, like I said before, would be the desk, the waiting area, and then the wall as well. So for my design process, I kind of went through understanding first. So just understanding who CEP is as a client. That included like doing the interview, just learning what they're about, who their clients are, what they do, what they value. I kind of started the understanding phase just by writing out notes about what I think that's important to them to include in the space. So then the next step was ideation. So it was more of my design concepting. So I took all of my values that I thought were important and figured out how I was going to tell that story in the space. Just like what materials I wanted to use, what design style, how I wanted that to reflect how people felt in the space. And then I moved to the development phase where I just kind of started laying out the space, adding in the furnishings, and then applying my design strategy within the space. So the order, just balanced and harmonious arrangements. I did this by repeating my square shapes in the light, in the bench legs, on the wall, the basic cube of the desk, and then the colors that I use, the paints that I use, it created order just because it has that balanced feel. And then also with my type here, I wanted it to be very contrasting, so I have the big type contrasted with the small type. You can see that all throughout it. And then I have all of their 7 C's up on the wall on top, as you can see as well. So just enrichment, the way I reduce the degree of regularity is just having that new modern feel in this space. So the huge welcome in front of the desk, and then you wouldn't see a wall like this where it just has 3 basic cubes. It goes with the minimalistic, new, fresh style that I wanted to create. And then for expression, so the way that this design expresses something, we go where you go. It has that new, fresh, energetic, not lazy feeling that the clients will feel as well as the workers will feel in this space. So I'll just go through my spaces again. And then also with my desk, I have CEP is like inside it. There's an open space inside of each of the letters as well. Thank you.